Welcome to the Living After Faith podcast. It's a podcast designed to help you as you leave religion and move forward with your life. We're the official podcast of RecoveringReligionist.com, a recovery group founded by Dr. Darrell Ray, the author of The God Virus. We welcome your feedback. You can contact us by going to livingafterfaith.com, at facebook.com/livingafterfaith. Even follow us on Twitter at LaughWithMe. That's LAF with me. I'm Rich Lyons.
And I'm Deanna Joy Lyons.
And we're so glad to have Deanna Joy back laughing with us.
Absolutely. It's been way too long.
It has been. It's been nearly 5 weeks now since... Well, tell everyone what happened.
On Thursday night, about 5 weeks ago, I was commuting to work on my little scooter, little 50cc, and it was very wet, and a car cut me off as I was going down the road toward a stoplight. So I wasn't going very fast, but this vehicle kind of started jumping out in front of me. And as I was going downhill, and it was very, very wet. It was one of those rainstorms where you haven't had any rain for a while, so it's brought all the slippery up off the road. And I just ended up falling right down and smashing the crap out of my knee and the top of my tibia.
So what happened? The tibia plateau was just shattered.
Yeah, that's the top 3 inches of the largest bone in the lower half of the leg. That spot was basically shattered into a bunch of pieces, and all these little jagged bits were, of course, very painful and just kind of loose hanging around in my leg. Ow! And the meniscus was also torn up pretty badly. That's the cartilage in the knee right above where the knee bone and the lower leg bones connect. So I've got quite a lot of recovery left to do still. Those are 2 rather hard things to recover from. They take a lot of time.
And the recovery for one kind of goes against the other. The doctor was explaining to me the best thing for the bone is absolutely no motion, isolate it, keep it perfectly still. However, with the torn meniscus, if you do that, you'll never bend your knee again. So the treatment for it, you've got to keep bending the knee. So they put a bunch of hardware in her leg. She's got this really attractive scar. If you follow us on Facebook, she's put a picture of it. We're going to work that into some kind of tattoo. We haven't decided exactly what yet. The hardware is probably going to be permanent, and that's keeping the bone immobile so she can move the leg. In the last couple of weeks, actually the last week, she's really gotten pretty mobile and able to get around. Still another 8 weeks, 5 weeks. 8, 6?
Yeah, I've got about another 7 weeks until we hit the 12-week mark, which is when they told me I can start putting weight on the leg again. Now, you could probably imagine after 12 weeks of not walking, I'm going to have a lot of muscle buildup to do again because, it's going to be, I'm not just going to throw my crutches down and start hopping down the street. I'll probably be doing a lot of practicing then. But like you said, darling, the last couple of weeks I've been feeling a lot better. It's been a big portion of my healing has taken place during this. It was a little slow at first.
Until the stitches came out, I really saw no progress.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I can move it more. I don't have the fear that I'm going to split my incision anymore because it's very obviously when you look at it, it's all closed up. Of course, it's a big red line with holes next to it for about a foot or so down my leg, but
it's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. I mean, I haven't been able to sit in the studio with, I've had to have my leg up constantly. So it's just been too difficult to really get in here and sit and talk. And it's hard to talk when you're kind of laying backward and got your leg all propped up on pillows and stuff.
We did try, but it was just not a way to make that happen.
Not working so
Our
good.
Our studio is well treated for sound, but it's in an L-shaped closet that it's an average size closet. It's not a big closet. So when you hear what we do, sounds like we have a big studio. We don't. It's just well treated.
We literally took a staple gun to pillows and put them up on the ceiling and walls.
Sounds good.
Looks kind of funky.
It does. It's got our own natural funk to it.
It does, but no, it sounds wonderful in here.
Speaking of modesty, which we weren't but will, it also gets hot in here, so we kid about Deanna being topless. She's not topless today. I'm
half naked.
Yeah.
That's how you say it in Texan, right, darling?
Half naked.
Naked, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need KKID.
That's right.
Doing that for simply temperature control reasons in here because we can't run a fan or something like that because it picks up noise, and I'm really anal about that kind of stuff.
Terribly, terribly obsessed with good sound quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually is a good thing. Something is just, we don't do rants often, but we're going to do one today.
Absolutely.
Sometimes things go haywire on the internet. Number one, it triggers things. And then number two, it opens your eyes to see how stupid some stuff is. I used to be one of the preachers who would preach this stuff. In fact, the clips that we're going to play are from, it's called What Guys Think About Modesty Part 2. You can find it on YouTube. We'll have a link on the website. And basically, it takes the concept that it's a woman's job to keep a man from sinning.
The first couple of times I tried to watch this, I was starting to think, like, this can't possibly be real. This has got to be a the idea that something is so out there and ridiculous and extreme that it's got to be somebody making a parody of an existing message. But no, it is not. This is a real sermon from a real guy. It's kind of a slideshow. It's got some pretty graphics and some like gentle music and images and biblical verses and little, text written all prettily on the screen. But the idea is that this pastor is sharing things that were told to him by young men, members of his congregation that are in college, that are having a hard time dealing with their feelings of lust.
She said hard time.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Oops. They're having a hard time dealing with their feelings of lust because they're on a college campus and the young women are dressing too provocatively.
In San Antonio, Texas, where we all know it's very, very cold in the summer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it must be like 103. I mean, freezing. So these young women really have no business showing skin, arms,
especially
necks.
belly buttons,
legs, feet. Can't believe those tramps.
So we're going to play a little bit of this, and we're going to comment on a couple of the things. And if it's a little too ranty to you, it's just one of those things that when you think about it, puts into perspective some of the things we've all left.
And to the girls who are ignorant, please serve your brother and have your dad screen your wardrobe. Ask him how you can better choose holiness over worldliness. He's a guy, and he knows more than you do on the issue.
To the girls who are ignorant, does that just jump out and grab your attention and say, oh, me, that he's talking to me?
I'm totally ignorant. Now, I know he's trying to use it in the, you just don't know any better definition of the word ignorant. He's not meaning it as an insult. But the idea that a young woman doesn't know that she is dressing in a manner that is provocative. He's trying to kind of give her the benefit of the doubt. But this whole sermon is directed toward the members of his church. It is directed toward the young women who are in his congregation. So in a way, he's kind of accusing them of not paying attention and not doing the right thing and not dressing in the right way.
And then he says, serve your brother. Since when has a woman's clothing choice been specifically to meet some random dude's idea of what she should look like?
Well, sadly, in this society, of course, women and men dress in ways to attract mates or to put forth an impression about who they are. You wear a uniform to tell people what your profession is, or you dress in a business suit to let people know you're successful and close that sale, or you wear something maybe that's a little close-fitting to attract a mate and look nice.
Wear a burqa to appeal to men on college campuses.
Yeah, the difference between this kind of, normal everyday clothing choices being an expression of who you are and what this pastor is saying is that it is a woman's obligation to ease the men's burden around her, to not make them think naughty thoughts by what she is wearing. And that is different than, just wearing something for other reasons. This is a literal shifting of responsibility. And what he says next, I think, is pretty telling as well.
Have your dad screen your wardrobe. Choose holiness over worldliness. Have your dad screen your wardrobe?
Really?
Think that one through, guys. How would you feel? You get dressed to go out and do something and have your mom check out your package. Does this make my package look small? I mean, does that even make sense? I guess what just irks me here is if a guy wants to make the choice to be celibate until marriage
and to restrict his thoughts so strictly that he feels it's a sin, or he's been told it's a sin, to even think something like, ooh, that girl looks hot. It's his problem.
It's his choice. If you want to make that choice, power to you. But man up to the choice you made. You can't regulate what everybody on the planet wears simply because you make a choice to have some deviant sexual activity.
Exactly.
And that's what this is. That's deviant sexual activity. That is totally deviating from the norm. To say that masturbation is a sin, to say that looking at a woman is a sin, to say that any thought of sexual things is a sin. When you put yourself in that perspective, if that's where you want to be, far be it from me to complain, but don't thrust that upon the women in your culture.
Not to mention, a major component of this is not only are they expecting other people to conform to their idea of modesty so as to keep their lustful thoughts at bay, if that were even possible, which, I mean, come on, to keep humans from thinking anything of a sexual nature, it's not going to happen. But there's also no specific guidelines in this video, in this message, in this sermon about how to dress modestly with actual, don't wear this, do wear that.
Oh, they'll have the guidelines. They don't put that on the YouTube version, but I'm sure it's on the...
you may have said it in the longer sermon version.
Yeah, I'm sure it's long skirts, long sleeves, high necks.
At the same time, you can't go dictating, even if you give that kind of detail. Because
have your daddy screen your wardrobe.
Have your daddy screen your wardrobe.
You don't need detail.
Let's say,
Daddy knows best.
Oh, yeah, sure. My hair is long and blonde and kind of waves a little bit. And some people find that very attractive. And I'm not doing anything with my hair specifically to make it attractive. It is not that I'm doing something wrong. It's everybody has a different perspective. Like, Rich, I find your green eyes very sexy. I'm going to make you cover those up. You have to wear sunglasses so that I don't see those attractive assets that you're showing there.
When ladies that I'm friends with dress immodestly, it definitely has a negative effect on our friendship. When she dresses immodestly, it doesn't make it easy to see her as a sister in Christ. There is a constant battle going on as I'm talking with her. Communication becomes more difficult because as I'm trying to listen to her, I am also trying to fight temptation. I also think some ladies just aren't aware that even little things can distract guys a lot. Showing even a little part of their stomach.
He's telling me more about himself here than he is about the girls. Number one, her stomach? What, you can't see a belly button without imagining yourself filling it with cum? I mean, come on here. You're telling us more about yourself than you are about her. Okay, you've got a belly button thing. Somebody else has a boob thing. Someone else is an ass man. Someone likes legs. Someone likes feet. So do you regulate everything? You can't show the shape of your butt, the shape of your boobs. You can't show your belly button, your legs. You can't wear open-toed shoes because somebody just can't imagine not licking them. I mean, a woman can't be forced to dress to protect a man from every one of his fetish thoughts, and every man in general from all of their fetish thoughts.
And the most important bit of this, I think, of this soundbite actually is in the beginning. He says it has an effect on our friendship and that he has a hard time listening to the things that she is saying because he is fighting temptation. Now, this is not the girl's fault. This is, once again, like you're saying, his choice to be celibate, to go against nature, to allow the pressure of this sexual energy to back up so badly that he can't even have a conversation with a female friend without thinking thoughts about her that he considers wrong, and he can't pay any attention. It speaks to a complete lack of respect for her as a person. Now, I can sit and talk with somebody who I find sexually attractive and appreciate what they are saying and have a conversation that is based completely upon, whatever we're talking about. Our subject is intellectual and enjoyable, and we are appreciating the ideas the other brings to the table. And yeah, we may find each other attractive. You and I, for instance, sitting in this, nice, cozy, hot little closet, half naked, talking intellectually. Excuse me, folks.
It just amazes me that because he chooses a life of sexual restriction, that he can't see a fellow person as a human being.
Yeah.
All he sees is boobs and butt. The more you put yourself into a restrictive nature like that, the more it exacerbates and brings those things to the surface. You create your own hell, folks, is what I'm saying. And I remember these because I've heard 100 messages just like this, probably preached some, and I hate that because it totally, I remember when I was starting to come out of Pentecost, I quit preaching that. And I told someone, I said, we men need to man up. We need to quit making women our surrogate Christ. By that, what I meant is, she's the one that bears the responsibility for our sins. That's a surrogate Christ. I mean, if we're going to be men, we need to man up. If that is what your definition of men is. The truth is, it's pretty ridiculous.
I'm so appreciative of the sacrifice that these ladies make to glorify God and to serve and care for the guys.
Serve and care for the guy. I keep seeing and hearing this. Serve and care for the guys. I mean, really? I remember thinking that way, but at some point, can we just let a woman be a woman?
Can she be her own person instead of the, obviously the servant and caretaker, which are both very subservient roles for both men and children? That's, especially in church messages like this one, you'll see in this video, if you watch the full 8 minutes, that they have a graphic. It says Proverbs 31 woman. And that's a very specific portion of the Bible where they talk about a woman's responsibilities. And it's a list like 3 bazillion things long. And it's, the woman is to prepare the bread and harvest the grain and care for the children, buy fields. And she does everything.
The guy essentially does nothing but get porked every night.
It's not just about take care of your husband and house and kids. It is, she will sell the grain and make the business deals. And
I have actually seen seminars teaching this is how women should be. And I'm like, really, dude? I mean, this is just absolutely over the top. The last cut.
I heard a story of one of the ladies in our ministry who went shopping and really liked a shirt she was trying on, but then she thought, no, I can't do this to the guys. That was the first time I had ever heard of anything like that, and it made me so grateful. It is such a blessing to have friends who care for me enough to be selfless and sacrifice what might look attractive in order to help me and other guys with sexual lust. I think modesty is so attractive.
Now, see, the inherent dichotomy here, this is the biggest contrast that you will see in this whole message is he says, she sacrifices what would look attractive by not buying the shirt that she saw on sale. But then he says, right the moment he is done saying that she's not going to look attractive, he thinks modesty is attractive. Which one is it, dude? Come on.
And he paints himself into a corner here. He's trying not to be attracted because attractiveness makes him want to hump her leg or something.
It's evil to be attracted to somebody because you'll think lustful thoughts.
If she shows her belly button, he's got to fill it. But if she's wearing a burqa, that's attractive. So it's a catch-22. Anywhere it goes, dude, do yourself a favor. Get laid. Get laid. Go pick up a chick at a bar. Get laid. Do it often. After you've done it for a while, you can just have a regular conversation with an attractive woman who's not wearing pants, kind of like I am right now with Deanna.
Exactly. The thing that gets me is there's a very clear sort of underlying message here, the Madonna whore complex. You thought it was only for Catholics? Oh no, it's present throughout many flavors of Christianity. And this message is really common. Rich, you've told me about a couple of books that you read. One was called Wild at Heart, and the other one was called
Captivating. That's the woman's version of that.
And they are literally the most sexist and offensive things that you can do, both for their men and for the women.
Total stereotype painting.
Yeah.
It is, men need to be real men, don't shave, get furry and smell bad and
sweep her off her feet and buy things and
do hard things and climb a mountain and
chop wood and and the women's stuff, of course, it's all like be beautiful and genteel and get your nails done and wear long skirts. And these messages, especially those books, they purport to be these like new age Christianity, like we're so hip and we're going to help you, find a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a husband or a wife. They're really trying to be, modern self-help movement style things. But what they really are is full of assumptions, and they are insulting, terribly insulting to both men and to women. The first thing they're saying is that men cannot possibly control themselves.
How insulting it is to me to think that because a woman wears her belly button showing, that I've got to run around the corner and jerk off.
Now, here's the problem. What's going on is these people, this pastor, this movement, this church, this message, it is literally creating the problem so it can sell you the solution.
Exactly.
It tells you that you are not allowed to think lustful thoughts. You're not allowed to touch yourself, probably.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to have sexual relations with a person of any type, of either sex, before marriage. You are not allowed to have even the most rudimentary of sexual releases. And then it builds up. It creates this pressure. And you do feel like, oh my God, the dam is going to break. I can't control myself because I'm going to go crazy because I've got all this sexual energy built up. And then they sell you the solution for your problem. Well, here you go. This magic Jesus pill. This is going to make it all better. All you got to do is keep coming to church more and more often and tithing more and more money. Pray more and read more and buy my books and come to youth group.
And don't look at the women, especially the way they walk. You notice their hips turn different from guys. That just...
Do not look at the women. Don't do it.
Oh.
So it creates this giant guilt and feedback, and here's the problem, and we're going to make the problem worse to sell you the solution. Be like if you went to the doctor because you had a rash on your skin, and the doctor rubbed it with sandpaper for 5 minutes, and then said, I want you to rub it with sandpaper every half an hour, and then I want you to come and buy some lotion and put this special lotion on it. And then after you put the lotion on it, rub it with sandpaper for 5 more minutes.
Their solution is no solution.
Their solution is making it worse. But you can keep
selling a whole lot of that solution if you keep making the problem worse and worse and going so much against natural humanity. Some sexual freedom. And, I hear this thing, and some of our listeners may not really relate to this one today, and I understand that, but it was such a big part of the church that I was a part of. And I saw this video first showing up on atheist blogs saying, can you believe this? Get a load of this. This is nuts. Then I began to see it on Christian Facebook walls and things, because I still have some people who haven't unfriended me yet on Facebook. And they were lauding how wonderful it was that someone's finally telling the truth about how men feel about women. And it's such a small percentage of men. It's men who've made this crazy sex plea thing that I won't touch it, think about it, imagine it before I'm married to it. And then it's kind of funny. They don't have a clue what to do with it when they find it, and then go into all kinds of problems. But we'll get into that at another. Well, we've talked about those.
We can always talk more about those because there's an unlimited number of crazy religious ideas messing with people's sexuality. So there's an unlimited number of problems that result from that. I think we're going to start to get known for being the sex podcast. But hey, why not, huh?
It's our most common listened to podcast is Too Fucked Up to Fuck, which gets into a lot of those details and tells a whole lot about what the problems are while you're in a church environment like that and coming out of it. It's interesting. I pastored one of these kind of churches that taught the very things that we just heard. And at some time during my pastorate, church of about 200 people, at some time, every married man in that church came into my office and said, "What can I do? My wife has cut me off. She won't put out. She won't touch me. Let me touch her. I am totally shut down. It's making me crazy. What's happening here?" And it foments that environment, that friction between the man and the woman, that they can't enjoy a natural, loving relationship. It has so many restrictions, so much requirements. And you just need to get the uninvited guests out of your bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If you want to invite guests, hey, cool. But the uninvited guests, get the pastor out of your bedroom.
It's like they've got a surveillance camera in your bedroom. That's what God is. That concept is the surveillance camera that lives not only in your bedroom, but in your mind.
Yeah.
If you think something lustful, that's a sin. So you have to go and get forgiveness for that. Those cycles of great guilt, then, oh my gosh, you have to, deny everything you feel and think. It's abusive. That is sexual abuse of a psychological nature. And as we've talked about with our good friend, Dr. Darrell Ray, his sex survey is going to be a book coming out, I think, later this summer, maybe early fall. And the data he was telling us, the more guilt, the more sexual problems you have. And the more guilt is always in the most restrictive religions, the people that tell you the most often what you are not allowed to do, think, say, with who, when, here, now, there, not now, not then. That's where the problems all come. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Living After Faith podcast, designed to help you as you leave religion and move forward with your life. We are the official podcast of RecoveringReligionists.com, a recovery group founded by Dr. Darrell Ray, author of The God Virus. We welcome your feedback, and you can find phone numbers and email addresses at livingafterfaith.com, at facebook.com/livingafterfaith, and on Twitter at laughwithme, LAF with me. The music for this show is provided by Morrison's Prophecy. You can see livingafterfaith.com for a link to more music from them. I'm Deanna Joy Lyons.
I'm Rich Lyons.
Come laugh with me.